And I have returned. Welcome back. For those watching the VODs, hello, and a welcome to the second half of the stream, to all the social stuff, etc., etc. Today, in this half of the video of the stream for the day, we need solder for cages for Vrauk. That is what I am working on right now. You just realized that the thingy has a controller in his hand? My logo? My logo, Red Panda? Is that what you're referring to? My Red Panda that's in my logo? Yes, he's holding a controller. That is that is a thing. It is holding a controller. That's been that way for a while now. My Red Panda. My quotes, Red Panda. Oh, that's a story. Yeah, that's a story I can tell. So when I got this art stuff, like my logo and the background for the logo, through Fiverr, through an artist offering services through the website Fiverr. It was more than five. And when I said that I wanted to have a red panda, initially, the artist took it quite literally, as in a panda that was red. So the reference for the image was an actual panda, full-sized black-white panda, but with red. Until apparently the guy's son was like, "Hey, I think he means the actual creature that is called the red panda, more related to raccoons than to panda bears." Hello, hello. We have tail. So basically, he changed the face markings to look like an actual red panda and added the tail. Speaking of, hi, Ollie. Yes, yes, you want to go? You don't like being held all that much. Yes, my Ollie. He's here. Yeah, so I guess you might recommend that artist. Sure. I mean, I've been using the assets ever since, so it doesn't matter to me. And at the time, it definitely was a better match for my body type, to say the least. Because at the time I was weighing like over 320 pounds. Plus, 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 plus. So, yeah, about that. Yeah, I used to be like 366 pounds. Like by the way, like in case you didn't know, I used to be like 360 something pounds, and I am down at the moment. I'm 217.2, but I have been as low as like 187. I gained a bit after I stopped strict keto. I was on a ketogenic diet, for what that was worth. And then in the past year or so, have not been strictly limiting the carbs, which has meant my weight has gone up a bit, but it is now stable-ish around like this range of 217. Just at the moment, lead and tin. Okay, lead. That's you, so that needs to be that way. My weight sort of had gone to my face. At the time, I am 6 feet. Like, 6 feet and 1/4 of 1 inch. So, just ever so slightly above 6 feet. I am considered obese at like 220 anyway. So yes, that was a thing. I lost nearly half my body weight. What is that in metric? Because of course you're gonna ask what is that in metric. So think of it as I am now just under 100 kilos. Just think of it as my current weight is now just under 100 kilos, and I used to be like I think it's 160 something. 366 pound 2 kg. It was yeah, it's like 166 kilos down to now 217, which is 98 ish. How many stones? I don't know. I don't know that. Do they still use stones in Britain? I don't know if they still use stones. Maybe out in the countryside, they might. You do still use stones. Anyway, yes. And yeah, I'm 6 feet, which is 6 foot to meters. That's 1.828 meters. Or I guess that you do centimeters, so 183 centimeters. It would be more accurate-ish in terms of height. Let's see, how am I doing this? I need the 10. I need the 10. So the 10... that's actually going to be one lower. That's there. That. Ta-da! Alright, so then I just need the solid fuel in a solid fuel. Now you may have also noticed that off screen between last time and this time I have added Coke to the mix. So now Coke exists on this line. So, yes. So I am 1.83 meters and am currently at 98.4 kilograms. Or whatever grams, whatever you want to use for that. And I used to be like 166 kilos. So I missed an underground. Yes. Here. There you go. There's that. And I lost that weight, by the way, over a period of a little over 1 year. Like, the vast majority was lost in a little over a year. Like, that first year was huge. Like, it was like at least under 100 pounds in that year. First year. First week was like 8 pounds by itself when I first started the diet. It wasn't bad. I mean, I ate I just didn't have carbs, and I already, prior to going on that more strict ketogenic diet, was not overweight because I ate a lot of sweets, right? I already wasn't having like desserts and other candy type stuff. That is not why I gained weight. I gained weight because I ate a lot of complex carbs with sugary stuff with it too, but not as candies. So yeah, I ate a lot of pizza. Like that was the main contributor, was pizza that I had ordered, like ordering out pizza. particularly Papa John's pizzas that I would have like 3 times a week. Extra large pizzas, of course, the entire pizza in one sitting. Yeah, it was no surprise that I had gained a whole bunch of weight. Because I was like 320-ish, uh, in like 2013. Actually, probably as low as 315, 310, around there. But over a pretty short period of time, I had gained a lot of weight from just a lot of pizza and really, really bad uh, diet otherwise. So, yeah, just really bad diet otherwise. But then I improved the diet and just magic, the weight just came off. Just changing of diet. Only changing of diet, I might add. I did not start to have exercising as part of anything. I did not add consistent exercising either. And I have actually maintained a lot of the muscle mass. The muscle mass did not go down. Another one of those benefits, by the way, of ketogenic diets is you don't really lose the muscle mass quite as easily because you end up eating a consistent amount of protein to maintain your weight as muscle. You end up having enough of those particular nutrients to maintain the muscle mass, which is very fortunate. It's also like really good for skin too. With ketogenic diet, I have not had much issue of like excess skin type situations. Just the nature of the things that you end up eating more of. That being said, there were periods on my diet, ketogenic diet, where I was not eating healthily. There were periods where I was still not eating that great, but was still losing weight because I didn't have the carbs in there. So there's that too. And there was a period where I actually jumped up a tiny bit. It was around the release of a game called Bless Online. I don't know if anyone's actually heard of this game called Bless Online. It's available through Steam. That's how they launched it in the US. But yeah, the diet wasn't so great around that period of time. It was still low carb, just junk food low carb, because that actually is a thing that exists. Highly processed foods is what I'm referring to. Why? Oh, you're just not correct. What is a ketogenic diet anyway? So a ketogenic diet is any diet that restricts carbs considerably. Like, you can think of ketogenic as a class of diet. It's not like a specific, you must eat these very specific things. It is simply a do not consume too many carbs. You can eat literally anything as long as you fall within a specific carb limit. Most people will tell you to try to eat less than 20 grams per carbs of carbs per day. Per day. 20 total per day. That is the goal for most people because most everyone, actually everyone, will be in a state of ketosis at 20 or lower. But everyone's different, and some people can be in a deeper state of ketosis even having more than 20, like even as much as 100 grams of carbs in a day. You can still be in some state of ketosis. It's not a off or on thing. Very few systems in the body are a straight up off on situation. It's always gradational. You have a fluctuation levels It is a spectrum. That's a word that's been used often these days. It is a spectrum state. More titanium and iron sticks, huh? Well, the iron sticks I'm gonna do like here. Iron, the iron sticks. That'll come in from here, and then just add titanium. Oops, I did not get that length right. So yeah, things like the South Beach diet, I think is the one that actually is a type of a ketogenic diet, realistically speaking. Atkins can be considered a type of ketogenic diet. In fact, one of the initial ketogenic diets is the Atkins diet. Just don't actually get any food by Atkins. Just like don't get anything made by listed as Atkins diet stuff, because it's actually highly processed food that is actually bad for you. So don't do it. It's a scam. Don't ever have food from them. That like, sure, it's easy, but it's easy at a cost of being highly processed food, and that's something you don't want. That is definitely something you don't want. You want to eat natural foods that are not processed, that also are low in carbs. And for God's sake, don't eat fruit of any kind. Most any kind. There's one exception, and that is avocado, because avocado is a fruit. You can have as much avocado as you want. That is the king of the ketogenic diet is avocado. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of recipes with avocado. In fact, that is my lunch every day. Is I always have a whole avocado with lunch, and I have peanut butter. You have to be a little careful with peanut butter, but I have peanut butter with avocado. I scoop peanut butter into the pit of the avocado and have that. I cut it into 4 pieces. Yeah, there's no avocado recipes in the pie suite. I'm talking about it was mentioned how we are on a conversation that started with a person noticed that my logo is holding a controller. We started this conversation with someone mentioning that my logo Red Panda is holding a controller, and then I got into a conversation about how the reason why my logo looks the way it does, why that red panda is so big, is because the artist who made it used an actual panda as a reference, not a red panda, which is its own separate type of creature. They got confused. They did not know about the existence of the creature that is called the red panda, and instead thought that I wanted a panda that was red. So then I mentioned that even though it is based off an actual panda, at the time it matched my body type better if it was actually shaped more like an actual panda, because I was big at the time. And then we got into how I have lost a whole bunch of weight. And yeah, now we were talking about question King wanted to know what a ketogenic diet was. And I was like, okay, well, it's just anything where it's low carb, and make sure you don't eat like almost any fruits on the diet, because fruits are candy. We have genetically engineered fruit to be candy. Like, I'm not joking. All of the health benefits of fruits are completely and utterly offset by the amount of sugar in those fruits. It is 100% offset by the fact that it has loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of sugar in most fruits. The key exception being avocado. Avocado is extremely healthy. It is extremely good for you. It's got a lot of stuff your body needs, and it doesn't have the sugar. in it. Your body does not care about the sugar, what form it's in. Sugar is sugar. There is no difference. It's either sugar or it's not. So, like, it doesn't care how fast you process it. Sugar is sugar. And no matter what, it will kick you out of the state of ketosis. Like, sugar is sugar. Like, there is no natural. Your body does not care how natural it is. It's sugar. It's sugar. Don't eat it. Now, berries are better in regards to the amount of sugar that they contain. Not strawberries exactly, but things like blueberries are good. You can have some blueberries, you can have blackberries, you can have raspberries in low quantities. Remember, it's all about just being within a certain amount of carbs. What those carbs are don't matter. So, it's not like you can't eat bread. It's not like you can't eat bread if you're on a ketogenic diet. It's that you can't eat a lot of bread. And if you do want to eat a bread, you can't eat other things that day that might have carbs. That's how the restrictions really come into play. Anyway, let's actually, play the game. Playing the game might help. I have my one Vrauk. I have my singular Vrauk. I will need biomass. Somehow. Yes, I will have my one bread. I will have my one bread. Yeah, just be mindful, like, the point is to eat naturally and eat not processed stuff, so bread, unfortunately, is one of those things that you can consider a processed good. Oh, and there are sweeteners that you can have that are really decent sweeteners. Things like stevia is a sweetener that you can use that does not impact your carb counts and does not induce an insulin response. Because that's really the key. It's not like the fact that you're eating the carbs, it's the fact that your body is responding to the carbs, right? So having an insulin response means you are not going to be in ketosis. It's one state or the other, and there's a gradation, of course, between being in an insulin response versus a ketogenic response. And if you have an insulin response that is too strong, the ketogenic part goes away. So even some artificial sweeteners can still kick you out of ketosis, even though their calorie count is 0. Because the body will still see it as a sugar and give an insulin response to it. This is very specific, in my mind, to this substance called maltodextrin. The substance maltodextrin is an artificial sweetener that will induce a insulin response and kick you out of ketosis. It is one of those artificial sweeteners that needs to be avoided at all costs. Yes, and I never lowered the game speed under 5. Yeah. What is ketogenic state? And it's K-E-T-O, not K-Y-T-O, K-E-T-O, genic. And ketosis. So ketones is the main thing. So your body is converting fat into ketones that it can then convert into energy. So that's what it is. It is a state where your body is converting fat into ketones and then using the ketones to produce energy. The body can also convert those ketones into carbohydrates for the very specific cells in the brain that have to run on carbs. There are specific cells in the body that can only run on carbs, and the body has systems in place to produce those carbs from other things. So keep that in mind. There's often an argument against the ketogenic diet that people use that they say that there are cells in the body that can only use carbs. True, but the body also has systems in place to make sure that it has the carbs to feed those cells. So, yes. Meow? Who's meowing? Who's meowing? Hi, Ollie. Who's meowing? I don't know who's meowing. Who's meowing? Dolly, please don't be in the... Please don't be in the thingy. I hope not. Anyway. Yes, gluconeogenesis. Stuff that's happening in the body. Chemistry. It's chemistry. It's all chemistry. And yes, acetone is one of those ketones. Acetone is what will end up if you're in a state of ketosis. One of the key indicators is that you will have acetone on your breath. So the keto breath, as they call it, if you're actually in a ketogenic state, is you will actually have acetone in your mouth, and you'll be breathing it out. There's movement. Hi. Ollie has begun playing behind me. So, yes, acetone happens as well. There's 2 cats. Did 2 count as a herd? Actually, I only see 1 here. But would 2 count as a herd? I don't know. Anyway, what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. Let's change the topic. Yesterday I finished watching the full season of Rising of the Shield Hero. I finished watching that show. And you know what? It did pretty good. It did pretty good. It's a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. Even though I read the books first, I still enjoyed that show. Yes, late to the show, because the show has been out for like what, a year? Oh, I hear meow. 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 Meowing. Meowing. Anyway. Season 2, yes, season 2 is confirmed. Season 3 is confirmed, but they are all delayed due to the virus. They are delayed due to the virus. Excuse me. Hey. Ollie is now jumping at the... Yes, he's now jumping at the green screen. So the first season of Rising of the Shield Hero, it did not get that particularly far. What is the show's name again? It is The Rising of the Shield Hero. Of course, I was like reading the comments on Crunchyroll on the last episode, and they were like, "Oh, why did the other 3 heroes have to be so incompetent?" Like, have you not read the title of the show? It's the Rising of the Shield Hero. It's Rising of the Shield Hero, not Rising of the 4 Cardinal Heroes. Like, yeah. About that, see? What happens to the person? And the king? They're alive. They're still alive. Am I going to talk about other stuff about anime now? Probably. I'll probably continue talking about anime now. What else do I need here? Biomass, moss. Biomass and moss. Let's copy this. Yes, they are alive. She's alive. She's still doing what she does. She's still doing what she does, and the king also does what he does. We get later on. You get the reason why the king is the way he is. You do at least get that part of the story. How am I going to bring this? Oh hey, it's Moss. Hey Moss, be a bro. Be a bro, my Moss. And come over here. What else? Biomass. How do I want to bring the biomass in? Here-ish, I guess. Somewhere from down here. Somewhere from down here. There you go. There's your water. Which one are we talking? It's Rising of the Shield Hero. Rising of the Shield Hero. Oh, and last time I talked about like complaints about Amazon listings of the light novels. I was off by 1 on it. I think it's volume 16 spoils volume 15 on the description. So it's like, it was awful. So I'm still like at the end of volume 15 to finish reading it, and I think 16 is already out. Have I watched Avatar? No, I have never watched Last Airbender stuff ever. So I have not done anything in regards to that entire IP. Are Bob's adjustable inserters helpful in Pi? Yeah, I guess. I am assuming he means the Last Airbender stuff and like Legend of Korra, rather than the James Cameron movie. This is going to be biomass. How am I going to deal with needing to get biomass in here? Can I fit a doohickey? Can I make a doohickey if I had enough copper? Oh, copper. Oh, copper. I need you. I need this stuff. Why am I not 300? Why am I not 300? What's going on here? There we go. How much? Oh. Oh. You go here. And what am I going to use to compost? Let's see. What do I want to use to make compost? Well, there's the idea of using phytoplankton. Or something else. What is the compost recipe? Hey, Molly. What do you got? You got some folded up thing. I don't know. Some paper toy. Anyway, biomass recipes. Hi. What seasonal stuff am I watching now? Nothing, actually. Right now. The only thing I would watch right now is ReZero, because I haven't really looked at what the current season is, or what I don't even know what's coming in this next season. But ReZero would be something, but I'm currently undecided if I just want to wait for the full season to come out before watching the full season, or watch it live. I watched the first season live because at the time I was watching a whole bunch of stuff, and I just watched everything, like every day something different. But I would say definitely read Rising of the Shield Hero. By the way, just as a side note, definitely read it. Read the light novel of it because it is significantly further along than the series is, than the anime from season 1. I don't know how far they intend to get with season 2 and 3, but yeah, there's a lot of content to go on, and it's all pretty good stuff. You get a lot more good story with Rising of the Shield Hero. As for Sword Art, I still need to watch all of the previous season 3 of Sword Art, which the beginning of Alsitz. What do I want for biomass? Oh my goodness. What do I even have as options? Not oil. Not oil is fair to say the least. Is an option. Why no tar? That's one thing that is. Oh hey, there it is. Hi. 4 for 20. 4 for 20 from tar versus. What is it on oil? Where is oil? 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 Huh? I don't know. Where'd oil go? I'm blind. I'm blind. Where is oil? Crude oil. That's black liquor. Where's crude oil? Crude. Where'd you go? Where did you go, crude? I need you. Is there just not crude? Creamy latex and Corlex milk are here. Alright, when in doubt. Oil went bye-bye. Alright, so you removed hydrocarbons from making biomass. Alright, so it's not here because it's not supposed to be here. Are you going to do that to tar? Because I'm about to use it for tar. I'm about to use tar. Is this going to go away? Because this exists still. Tar. May I tar? Or may I not tar? Also, thank you for completely breaking the Paidu Valley base. Now I'm definitely not going to be using it to make any of my updated tutorials. By the way, so I am in the process of now making my updated PySuite tutorials. I am in the process of making my updated PySuite tutorials, and I've begun with the iron tutorial. I've begun with the iron tutorial. Now, what is this? This is a set of processes, like all of the available processes in doing iron processing. So at the beginning, we have just straight up casting of ore, and then the processed iron casting, the molten from processed iron, then the unslimed iron, the high grade, the reduced, and the sintered. And I have shared this. I have done the upload production line. If you didn't know, Helmod has the ability to share production lines. This is available on my Discord, my public Discord. If you're watching the VODs, the link is below the video. I have this one up right now, and I recorded a 50-minute video where most of it, the extreme vast majority of it, is just me talking with Helmod. So I do hope you enjoy the updated iron tutorial, because it's going to be just me talking with Helmod, staring at Helmod. I do hope you enjoy talking and staring at Helmod, because that's going to be the tutorials for the ore processing stuff going forward. It's just me talking in front of Helmod with the various chains. I have now made the copper one, because copper will follow iron, obviously. So, yay, stuff, things. Tar. Tar, come here, Tar. I need you. I have you. I have you here. So now that I finished watching Rising of the Shield Hero, Season 1, I have now moved on to the other series that is an extended season that I had wanted to watch from a while ago, but never got around to it, which is Reincarnated as a Slime. Which is just more hilarious type stuff. Yes, that it's comedy. It's comedy. Take it in the light of it being an isekai comedy show. It is not serious in the slightest, but I have read the light novels mostly. I've sort of gotten out of reading the light novels. I've not kept up fully. I'm at least 1 or 2 volumes behind on that. I need to do the outputs with doohickey for the empty barrels. Need to get rid of that and that. Empty barrels down here. And yes, there were other things released for the Reincarnated as a Slime. Yes, and I know it's late again on that, but hey, I get to watch the entire season now without having to wait for new episodes, which is fine by me. That is fine by me. I don't get to have to wait on things. It's pretty nice. This is gonna make the actual uncaged Vrauk for me. Excuse me. Power. There you go. Make me Vrauk. Make me Vrauk. More Vrauk. All the Vrauk. You. Codexes, huh? I need the copper. Copper. Copper, please. Please. I need good codexes. I do read a lot of light novels. I have a page on my website that lists the light novels that I own as well as what I've read and what I haven't read. Also the manga that I have not read. / few that I have read. I just updated that the other day, actually, with what I have and have not read / own. Keep in mind, I do not have a column on there that's like everything that's released, so you have to do at least that work yourself to figure out what is actually fully updated versus not. But yeah, I read a lot. I've got a few bookcases of physical, and I have a Kindle with lots and lots more of stuffs. You there. Make me things! Wow, it's only 2 generic samples? Interesting. Very, very interesting. So, how you doing? See, what I do is I read at night as I go into bed. So, when I physically enter my bed, if I don't do anything and try to just go to sleep, it ends up taking like an hour to actually fall asleep. So what I have ended up doing is just reading until I begin actually feeling tired and go to sleep at that point. So generally speaking, that hour-ish, sometimes more, is just reading while I'm in bed at around 10 o'clock in the evening. Have you done a thing? Hey, we got a thing. Double your speed. Literally double. And more. More! More Vrauk. More Vrauk. Let's do this. This is a waiting game now at this point, by the way. We need to get more Vrauk to use as modules. We're going to keep something to keep as modules, etc., etc. Now, the unfortunate part of doing that while I'm in bed is that it's not as conducive to reading physical light novels, because I have to keep a light on for that. That's one of the better things about having the Kindle is that it's backlit and I don't need other lights on. It helps me. And I have the red light the shifting, so that it's orange light being shown at me from the screen to help with not staying awake for too long. So, yeah. That's generally speaking some of my evenings, not all of my evenings. If I'm not reading, I'm usually I've got a Note, Galaxy Note 8 for a reason. It has it has a stylus on it, which means I can write as well, just write until I fall asleep instead of read. It's either one or the other. But I do need to read a lot more. I have a lot of stuff that I need to read, slash haven't gotten around to reading, including a lot of sword art stuff and like a lot of manga that I just own for the sake of owning, I guess. There we go. You failed. You failed. You failed. 30% chance of failure. You failed on that cycle. Thanks. Thank you so much. You failed. Uh. So, question that I think actually has a pretty specific answer to it. This, I think, is actually better than having those 4 in the 1. Because these move now. Right? Even though the total speed is roughly equivalent, having 4 moving and 4 chances of 70%, even though slower, I think is better than having the 1 going with those, but anyway, we shall see. You wanted to read the Goblin Slayer manga. So that's actually one show that I don't think I'm going to watch at all. I saw that it got an anime, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to be too interested in this one. I have a few volumes of a light novel of Goblin Slayer, and I read through it, but I got pretty bored with it, so I stopped reading it. Same thing with Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. I enjoyed that anime, but reading through the light novels, that author is like terrible. Like that author for Grimgar is really really bad at being repetitive. He is that author is super repetitive. Like I don't know. It's like I get it. This main character is super 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 depressed, right? And blames himself for everything. Like, I get it. I get it. Please stop hammering that over and over and over and over again. It's like it it's way too repetitive. I can't get through that repetitive exposition. That's what it is. It's repetitive exposition with the main character in Grimgar Fantasy and Ash. The anime does a much better job at it. The power of silence, like that is season 1. That is Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. That's what makes it good for the anime is the power of silence, which is also why Dot Hack is good. Is the power of silence. Like, there are some times where you just don't need any explanation, and silence is golden. You didn't realize how colorful the Vrauks were. Yeah, the Vrauks are pretty colorful. Vrauks are pretty colorful. They're great. They are great. I'm just waiting on Vrauks. By the way, we don't have much to do at the moment. I need the Vrauks in order to get more creatures. I need their stuff. Why did I shoot the thing again? I use that thing already? What happened? Oh right, I made nanobot ammo. That's what I made. Here, switch to the actual nanobots so that I can't accidentally damage my stuff. That would be great. Here, that one can get its own thing so we can have all these operating together, and then additional doohickeys can go in and do their thing, and we can be good and glorious and magnificent going forward. I have not heard of that one. So there some other manga getting an anime. See, that's another thing is I'm not really actually into the manga stuff anymore. Like the only manga series I actually was reading was what is it? My Hero Academia. That one. That's one that I had actually followed and read the manga of, and I have several of those volumes, but yeah, and I haven't really been as interested in the manga lately. It's like I'm more apt to watch an anime than read a manga. And I'm more apt to actually read the light novel than watch the anime, for that matter. But that's just my preferences as they've developed since I first started getting into this. I mean, this all started when I first got watching anime, right? So back in, like, I think it was 2013 was when I first started watching anime, and I started with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and just everything went from there. And I watched a ton of anime shows. I watched Full Metal Alchemist. I watched through what existed of Hunter x Hunter at the time, the more recent Hunter x Hunter. I have not watched Tower of God thing. I saw that it exists. I think I might add it to my queue, but for now, no. Never not watched that. So, yeah. Anyway, I had started with the bigger named stuff. I watched through a lot of the original Naruto, the first Naruto, not Shippuden. Like I got all the way to the point where it was like a whole bunch of filler before the last episode. So, most of it. Anyway, is Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime? I mean, technically, it's a show. Yes, it's a show that is animated, so it counts. It's a show that is animated. Although who did the animation? I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Not a thing I really follow in particular. Come on with your cycles. I need you. I need all the Vrauk to happen. It's getting faster and faster as we go. But yeah, once I had watched a number of series in 2013, I thought, hey, a lot of this is based off of manga and light novels. Why not have those in my library? Like, why not start a library and have these shows that are really popular. Surely they're popular for a reason, right? And I watched like Attack on Titan's first season and all that good stuff, and I ended up buying light novels and manga. I bought the Naruto full manga set, the entire thing. It's 3 box sets for the entire Naruto uh, series of manga. 72-ish volumes. Haven't touched it. Like, I haven't. Well, I've read a few of the first volumes, but I haven't really read the whole thing yet. I got what existed of Hunter x Hunter, which didn't have any box sets at the time, so that was pretty expensive, getting all of the volumes of Hunter x Hunter, getting volumes of Attack on Titan. Haven't touched either of them. I got Magi, and I actually have read what exists of Magi, but it's one of few of the longer form manga series that I have actually read. Just looking behind me to see what else there is there behind me. But yeah, otherwise it was like mostly light novels that I actually was getting into and reading. Yes, and everything is tiny compared to One Piece. Believe me, I looked at One Piece. I was considering One Piece, but it was simply too much. It was simply too much for One Piece. Hundreds of volumes for One Piece. It's like, what, the longest running at this point? In 50 years, will manga be worth anything for collections? Probably. They probably won't. Actually, that they are in print. It's too many copies exist in print at this point of these things for it to be actually worth anything at some point. And anything that's particularly popular is going to keep getting reprints over time. It's not like it's just going to magically not get reprinted again at some point. In which case, the only thing that would hold any value would be first run. Like, the only ones that would have value would be first run type things. Wow, still need 2 more here? Sheesh. But some of the more cult type things with really high popularity of a small number of people, highly popular among a small amount of people, that's where things get value. That's where the value comes from, is from stuff that wasn't printed that much, but it was for a very, very what's the word? Fervent fan base. Very passionate fan base, but small fan base. That type of stuff. That's the stuff that'll have value over time. But yeah, like I've got tons, literal tons of various stuff. I'd be remiss not to mention that No Game No Life is a thing that exists that I had been reading the light novels of, but I am deeply disappointed at the moment with No Game No Life. I don't know what's happened, but as of fairly recently, every single light novel of No Game No Life has been removed from existence on Amazon. You can no longer buy any No Game No Life stuff. I don't know if that's changed within the past couple of days, but yeah, that entry is they're gone. They're gone. There was, I think, some controversy with No Game No Life with the season 1 of it. Something about potential plagiarism of a background, I think, at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really paid too much attention to it. That is something that I had seen at one point without regards to don't know if it's true or not. I will make that statement. But I think I remember there being some controversy over season 1. And as far as I'm aware, it was not Amazon that removed these, by the way. It was the publisher that removed them, or whoever made the listings in the first place. had removed them. Last I had seen on that was someone had talked. Again, post on Reddit. Take from that what you will. But it was someone who had said that even the Amazon representatives didn't know what was going on there, why they were taken off. It was a magic circle design that was semi-generic. Alright, sure. Yes, at least I have paper to burn. Uh, my mother is a librarian. Can I point this out? She's a music librarian. Take from that what you will. We've got paper. We've definitely got paper. For days. And days and days. And days. Months even. Fails. There's one. There's one. God, this takes forever. This takes forever. My goodness. Let's keep talking about anime. Sure, why not? Another fail? My god. Why? Why you keep failing? It's about... I know it's 70% versus 30, which will fail more than you would like, but... RNG being a pain. RNG being a pain today. Massive pain. So... Yeah, so I just started watching the thingy. The slime season 1, I guess. Don't really know how far they get, but I've read through several of those volumes. My problem with Reincarnated as a Slime is that there are so many characters to keep track of that I honestly forget who's who in Reincarnated as a Slime. There are so many characters to keep track of. It is absolutely insane. All like trying to keep track of all the side characters and all the things that they do and who they are is just it's not pleasant in a written format. In the written format, even if you do get occasional pictures, one of the defining features of light novels, by the way, is you get the pictures in it. Even with the pictures of some of the characters, it's still a little hard to keep track of characters. It's easier for me with Overlord, by the way. Like there are a lot of characters in Overlord to keep track of, but they are so distinctly different from each other that it is a little bit easier to keep track of them, just by the nature of their species. There's a lot of different species of characters. Makes it a little bit easier for my mind to keep track of the ones in Overlord. But in Reincarnated as a Slime, you've got several characters of the same species to keep track of. So it's like, why? Why? Alright, good night, Ave. See ya later. And in anime, yes, it is a lot easier to keep track of all of these characters because they each will get their own unique character designs that will inherently make it easier. For me, it's a lot easier to remember faces than to remember names. Like, I lost the name remembering capabilities like in my senior year of high school. Like in that period of time, I just completely and utterly lost everything in regards to being able to remember names of any type. Just in general, even like with history type names, just names. I can't, I'm not as good with names anymore. I am much better at faces. So it's like, if I see someone for a second time, I will recognize that I've seen someone previously, that I will know who they are. I will remember the circumstances in which we last met. I will remember what we talked about. For the life of me, I will not remember their name. I will. That's just how my brain is working. Is I will remember basically everything about the context of the last time we met and the specifics that happened in the last time we met, but I will not forget the name. I will not remember the name. It's in one ear, out the other. Like you tell me your name, it's gone immediately. I will have forgotten the name by the end of the first conversation. That's just how my brain is working. But I will always remember the context of the conversation. I will always forget that. So, yeah, that's just how the brain is working these days, and it comes up in situations with light novels in particular that have a lot of characters in it. It's like, who are you? Who is this? Who is this name? Who is this random name? That's not a mod. What is the underground pipes mod called? The ones looking like boxes? That is base pyranods. Those are multi-purpose pipes. Multi-purpose pipes in the Pi Suite. They are in the Pi Suite as pipes. They are pipes. They come a little bit after niobium pipes, and they require plastic. That's about it. They require plastic. This is 5. Yes, yes. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have this one that'll continue producing the cage Vrauk, to keep a store of Vrauk in the chest, and then the rest I will switch over to cocoons. Once I have enough modules to fill all these are going to get switched over to cocoons. And this one is going to stay as cages. That's what I did in the Paidu Valley playthrough. Of course, I had way more than that making cocoons, but you know, we're just going to keep it as cocoons for now. Just keep the cocoons. I'm actually going to do this here, and I'm going to add it into the line here once I switch these over to cocoons. Just so we're clear on that, working on these last 3. And it's going to keep getting faster and faster on the production of these, so we can just wait a few more moments, / minutes, probably like within the next 5-ish minutes we should have the rest of these in here. What else has been on my mind? There's one. What else has there been? I don't know. I'm out of thoughts. Wow, that was 2 fails that I just had seen. I hear cat. I hear cat. Oh, cat. Cat. Cat is behind me. It's Ollie. Ollie is behind me. Alright, you. Thingies. So, anime. What stuff to talk about as I continue losing viewers while talking about anime? Because we're literally sitting doing nothing. That's all we can really do right now. Like, what's the point of putting in the infrastructure for everything else? I've already built the og paddocks that I need for the bone meal, in particular. So I already have that infrastructure like built. It just needs to get placed for the ogs that I do intend to use. Because, yes, I will be using ogs, just not for manure. Just not for the manure. Where is that building? The building of building. The chest of my buildings. Here. Ogs. Beautiful, glorious, wonderful ogs. They will be making caged ogs. Which means I should probably put cages onto the bus as well. Should probably bus those. That is a thought. Should think about busing those. Hey, we're starting to fill this one now. Yay. Hey, an actual not fail. An actual not failure. Yay, we're almost there. Almost there. So what else have I been watching that I can talk about, or reading that I can talk about? There's a lot of Amazon recommendations that I have of series of light novels that I started reading and then actually did get into. Amazon is really good at recognizing your tastes for stuff, and they're pretty good at it with novel recommendations and books. Because that's how Amazon started, right? They were a bookseller. They began with books. They better be really good with books, and they are. There's so many new series that I've gotten into that don't have anime of them yet that I've been reading. Although lately, some of the ones I've been reading have not been all that great. To be completely honest, I think I'm starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel of what's decent out there. Because, yeah, some of that, not quite winners. Not always going to get winners through those recommendations, but sometimes you do get winners. In particular, has there been an anime of Arifureta? Arifureta. Has there been? Please, tell me. There was. I need to watch that. Yes, there was. I need to watch that. From Commonplace to World's Strongest. That's the one. That's the one. Yes, it was announced in 2017. Release was pushed back. Aired from July 8th to October 7th, 2019. Funimation for English simulcast and simuldub. Funimation, isn't that also on Crunchyroll? Don't they have a contract with each other? Yes, the dragon girl in that is cringe. Yes. Yes, I agree. I agree, but the thing with Arifureta is that it's actually approaching being done on its light novels. It's like approaching the end of the main story arc. I don't know if it's going to get another main story arc, but the main arc is like nearly done at this point. Don't know how many more volumes it's going to be. And I was like, this needs an anime. This needs an anime. Because it's one of those few stories where the main character actually earns his power. It's one of those where he's earned it. One of those isekai stories where your main character earns the overpoweredness rather than having it just granted upon him at the beginning. Also, I really don't know about watching Average. Pretty sure that got a anime of it. Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? Question mark, exclamation point. That's another one of those comedy ones by the author of that is Funa. In all caps, Funa. And that author has also written a couple of other series that I'm also reading, not all of which have constant updates. But, yeah. I actually prefer the other works outside of Average, to be completely honest. I prefer the potions and, what's the other one? Saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement or something like that. Yes, Average has an anime, I know. I'm considering whether or not I should try watching that anime as an anime. I can switch this over now, by the way. This needs to add sap. Of course it does. Of course it needs another input. Sure. We'll just do that here on this side. L. Right click, left click, left click, left click. Left click. There we go. That should be that. Yes, it is. It is overpowered. That's the joke. She wants to be average, so she's median. She wants to be average, but ended up getting median. Excuse me? What's behind me? Ollie? What are you doing? I just felt it behind me. So we must have jumped. Uh yeah, it's stupid comedy on average. That's why I hadn't really fully kept up with average. It's a stupid comedy more than anything else, but sure, I'll go with it. So is I Shall Survive using potions on the light novels. That's also similar premise, but yeah, it's still fun. Why did I have those there? Those go there. And then what was I looking for? I was looking for making sap extractors. So I need to make those so that I can have Vrauk cocoons, so I could ultimately make cDNA, so I can start this exact same process with my Moondrop and Relesia and Crawdad. I would really like to have cDNA for Crawdad and actually make a Crawdad today. That would be great, but unfortunately the Crawdad is going to require having some amount of Relesia first for those poor DNA sample, or DNA, poor alien samples. So unfortunately that's not really going to happen today. Alright, so that's another one where the main character earns their powers. Where was that? Scrolling up, scrolling up. What was that one you said was getting an anime? Where did it go? Where did that go? That was a ways back. That was a ways back. Where did you write this thing? Where's that name? It's so far back I can't see it. Where are you? You would think I would be able to recognize the only Japanese words that you have stated in the English alphabet on this list. But no, I can't. I'm blind. Write the name of that again. Healer hero or something. All right, I'll look at that. I can actually say the Japanese of it. There, if I can see the words, I can at least somewhat read it. Anyway, I need these. I need things. I'm distracted. Things. Soil. Right, of course. We need soil. Soil is all the way up here. Oh, soil. Let there be soil. Make me things. And give me sap trees. I need sap trees. I have sap trees. I have a consistent supply of more sap trees. Hi, there's sap trees. More sap trees. I apparently was already holding on to 220 of them. Kaifuku Jitsushi no Jeri Naoshi. Approximately. That is the name. Alright. I will copy and paste that and look at that potentially. Oh, hi. Hi, Dolly. The Dolly's here. Hi. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah? You okay? You come in here say hi? Come in here say hi? Yeah, my Dolly? Hi, sweet Dolly. Here, you can go. You can go lap. You want to go lap? Huh? Or do you want to explore? You want to explore or be on lap? I think she wants to explore. So that down she goes. Alright. Stuff. Sap. Glorious. Beautiful. Wonderful. Sap. Do-do-do-do-do. All the way down. Put down this stuff. Oh. I need some inserters. Da-dee-dee-dee-da. Funny how I only need the seaweed for a lot of this. Like, oh, I've got stuff. Hey, water barrels, go away. Go away. Go away. I don't want these water barrels. Please go away. What else can I get rid of? That, and those, and that, and those, and those, and that, and that. Inventory! I like having inventory space. Space is great. Space is fantastic. By the way, I have a few more inventory spaces, just because I have this tiny armor Mark II, and then the quality of life techs add inventory spaces. I was able to take 2 of those techs. Each one adds 5, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be where basic inventory size 1 and 2. Of course, there are 2 more at green science, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more at blue, and then an infinite at utility. Infinite at utility and space. So here we go. Got these. Actually, I use the loaders for these, and these are supposed to be 1 tile down. Let's do 1 tile down. Doinky, 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 doinky. I might expand this further, so I'll reverse that other belt as well. This will go this way. Whoops. There you go. Just add power. Speaking of power, more! Do your thing. There we go. Sap! Glorious sap. Now we will have the thing. The stuff and the things. The Vrauk cocoons. Yes, yes. They are moving. Huzzah! They flow. Now we wait. Again. Ah, retro virus. This stuff is going to require hot air and Vrauk cocoons in an incubator. Okay. Incubator, incubator, incubator. Do I have an incubator here? I have it somewhere, but I think I just will make a new one. Plastic and copper. Okay. I need even more plastic. Sure. Plastic and copper. And small parts. Hello. Small parts. Make me an incubator. Incubator! Incubate. I need you to incubate. And give me some retroviruses. This is going to require lab instruments. Which, yeah. I will have to handcraft these lab instruments or the other stuff for them, which means we will need optical sets going forward. And we have about a minute before the end of the regular stream for today, so that's not gonna happen. That's not really gonna happen. Here, let me grab from my magic box the electrolyzers. I need... what else? I think that's it. Yes. High pressure furnace. That's the other one. And a glassworks, which I should have. Yes, I have glassworks. Pretty sure that the optical sets are in the glassworks these days. Yep. That's going to require boron trioxide, which is a high pressure furnace to make boron trioxide. That's going to need coke as well as boric acid. Boric acid is electrolyzed from diborane gas. Diborane gas is electrolyzed from borax. Need to have borax, and then that in and of itself is going to get its hydrogen from the splitting of water, like so. That makes 50. That consumes less than 50. That makes a bunch, and that makes the stuff. So there you go. That's that chain. Just kill that stuff and feed in borax, feed in coke, and you'll need molten stuffs as well as hot air and a fuel to do. This might actually be up here somewhere. Get more hot air, fuel, and stuffs. Did I syngas fuel? I forget. Did I accidentally tar? I did syngas good. I syngas good. Syngas is good. Syngas is great. You and you. There. Nope. Not that one. That one. Molten. And this one's syngas. Hello, syngas. Stuff! Just add boron trioxide. Just add coke. And stuff. And borax. We will do this quickly. That there. Oh, I need undergrounds. And I don't feel like going all the way up to grab more undergrounds. Okay, coke and borax. Good night! I am ending off soon. Very, very soon. Very, very soon. There we go. There's that. Add power. Power is awesome and magnificent and amazing. And then add hot air. I have... I regret everything. Hot air. What am I missing? Oh. Yeah, water helps. Water helps. There you go. Success! We have optical sets. They exist. We has them. One step closer to green science. Slash a whole bunch of steps closer to actually getting Relesia and Moondrop and Crawdads. Yay! We got our Vrauks today. Yay! We can make lab instruments now. Why the hell did I do that recipe? Please stop. No. Bad. Do the engine unit recipe. That gives me double the output. Please. Please. The engine unit recipe. That gives double. You there can go in that. Then other stuff we'll worry about next time. With that, folks, I would very much like to thank you all for watching. We did Vrauk. That's basically it. We did Vrauk. We set up the biosamples today and got our first Vrauk and started getting Vrauk cocoons as we prepare and move towards getting the rest of our red science alien life that we have access to at the moment that we need to get into green science as well as into automating our circuit production, because we need to automate our circuit production as well as automate our green science. Those go hand in hand. And that is what we will work on next time, is actually getting into Relesia first, and as well as Moondrop, and ideally getting our crawdad, our initial crawdad. That'll be our car that will destroy all of these iron pipes. But I do have a runway that is completely free of everything that will ideally allow me to go up and down my bus on the crawdad without having to worry about breaking things. So, yeah. Again, thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you're watching the VODs on YouTube, do not forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/otakushowboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links below the video, including supporting Pinedon's mods development at patreon.com/Pinedon and myself at patreon.com/otakushowboat. I will, of course, be back on Tuesday, where we will continue our alien life adventures. I will see you all then.